I saw a video from a therapist, a young black lady, who was talking about how modern therapy isn't necessarily designed for black men, and how that's why she believes a lot of black men don't seek counseling and this and that. She brings up other issues, but I personally believe that she hit on a lot of good points and that the video was very good, especially coming from a licensed therapist. As a black man myself that has gotten therapy, her points were, she hit the point. She hit the nail right on the head as to how, as being a black man, when you go and you seek counseling or you go to a therapist, especially one that probably doesn't look like you or that's of another gender, you're at a baseline pretty much almost describing your humanity because you're going through a lived experience. We're not just talking about trauma from the past. We're talking about day-to-day trauma that you have to deal with in your psyche as a black man, as any person, but we're talking about black men specifically here. And while a lot of us don't go into these counseling sessions, and of course she's getting all this pushback from the usual suspects. Don't make excuses for them. They need to get help. Because every day we're being berated as if we're the ones that are ruining the world, as if we're the ones that are causing a war in Iran, as if we're the ones that are causing the economic downturn here in America. We're the ones that are constantly being berated, constantly being judged, and constantly being put against this metric of, oh, are you palpable to be in our society? And that's exactly what she's talking about. So when you go and sit in front of a therapist, maybe a black woman, a white man, a white woman, whoever, anybody that's not probably a black man that comes from where you come from, they already have all these preconceived notions going in as to what you are and how you have to not be a threat to them. I'm not articulating myself very well, but I thought her video was very poignant and I wanted to add some things. First off, pricing. A lot of the black men that need therapy, that really need therapy, cannot afford a lot of therapists' services. Let's just start right there. A lot of these men, a lot of these Pookies and Ray Rays that are in the hood can barely afford to eat. They doing what they do. They're living a lifestyle. They're surviving more than most people, even black people who are in the suburbs or whatever. They have to go through a day-to-day grind of what they're going. There's a King Von video where he's talking to this therapist, and I think it's funny because I'm like, if you're living that lifestyle, a therapist talking about your nightly duties ain't gonna do nothing for you. You understand? Or the day-to-day shit that you have to go through. I saw a video yesterday of a black man on his bike that got pulled over by a police officer and was accosted, and she accidentally took his ID, and he was in his feelings about it. She gave his ID back, but it was still like the trauma of just being on a bike and getting pulled over, and you having to go through your head of, oh, are they gonna start tripping? Are they gonna go through my shit? Are they gonna try to shoot? All that stuff, right? How do I articulate that to a therapist on a fucking day-to-day basis, right? At the same time, knowing that that person is probably looking down their nose at me because I'm not matching up to whatever Western European standard I'm not palpable for some Western European standard I'm supposed to adhere to, right? So I say fuck therapy right off the rip, all right? And then let's not even mention about the stuff that actually does affect a lot of black men's psyche that we can't talk about. Like a lot of the content that we get on here constantly telling us that we're not worth a goddamn. You don't think that don't affect a man's psyche? But when you try to express that to some of these modern therapists, let's say I do get a black man therapist. I'm gonna tell you, when you do sit across a black man therapist, a lot of times what you'll get is a Mark Lamont Hill. A person that already has all these, oh, well, what you gotta do is get out of here, nigga. Like, just because certain things work for you don't necessarily mean that that's how reality is, right? And that's what a lot of black men are like, well, just fuck all that counseling shit, especially when it is this Sigmund Freud nonsense that is trying to demasculate us and cut us down to the fucking to the wee base, bro. That's what it's all about. That's how we feel about this shit. I feel like I've gotten better results as far as my therapeutic process by making these videos and expressing myself than ever sitting down in front of a counselor. I don't give a fuck what race they are. That's just the truth. But you know what's funny about that? I can express myself as a black man in the way that I want to without overly censoring myself, lest these platforms want to take me down. Y'all want to report me, and I'm talking about some of these demographics because I can't express, oh, okay, every time I get on here, I feel like I'm getting kicked in the ding dang by the women. I feel like I'm getting kicked in the ding dang by these different government agencies that are attacking different civil rights, this and that. It's all over the place. No therapist is going to sit up there and be able to satiate that. This is being a black man, especially here in America, is an active experience. There's no getting no therapy out of this. You were born into this shit, you're going to die into this shit, and it's going to be fuckery from the beginning to the end. I don't give a fuck what your social economic status is, and you just have to deal with it. It's the truth. And then we get criticized when the so-called help, the therapists, are not, they're not adequate enough because they were trained in a system that was designed to keep us at the bottom in the fucking first place. So all the ladies that's giving that therapist pushback for saying the truth as to why a lot of black men don't fucking go to therapy. They don't go to therapy because y'all are constantly on here making these fucking videos talking about y'all need to go to therapy. Fuck y'all.